Are you one of the millions of women who struggle with insomnia? Have you considered taking an over-the-counter sleep medication? What if I told you that there might be a better, safer way to get the sleep you deserve? In this video, I share the truths about over-the-counter sleep medications versus natural remedies. Find out which options can help you sleep without the unwanted side effects. And make sure you stick around till the end where I talk about the shocking risks of using sleep medication. There is a better way to deal with insomnia. And if you're new here, I'm Dr. Gayla Gorman, a licensed acupuncturist, naturopath, and author of What's Your Kryptonite? On this channel, I'm here to help you reverse the effects of chronic stress so that you can cruise through midlife and beyond symptom-free, so that you can put an end to common midlife symptoms like chronic fatigue, insomnia, mood swings, issues with gut health, and even weight gain. Let's talk first about how sleep medication works in the human body. It actually attempts to meet receptors to reset your internal clock. The active ingredients commonly found in these medications typically are one of two main active ingredients. The first one is diphenhydramine. It's an antihistamine commonly found in sleep aids like Benadryl, Zyquil, and Unisom. And it blocks histamine, which is a chemical in the brain that promotes wakefulness. So essentially it crosses the blood-brain barrier to induce drowsiness. Typically you would take 25 to 50 milligrams 30 minutes before bed. The side effects often are daytime drowsiness and dry mouth, dizziness, confusion, especially if older people are taking this. You just should not be messing with your brain. This is crossing the blood-brain barrier, and we only want things that we absolutely know we want getting in to do that. The next of the two ingredients is doxylamine. And doxylamine is another antihistamine. This one's found in products like Unisom sleep tabs. And so it works similarly to the other one to block these histamine receptors. This one's considered slightly more sedating than the other one. The typical dose is around 25 milligrams, again taken 30 minutes before bed. The side effects are comparable as well. The important considerations are that both of these ingredients can cause tolerance really quickly, meaning that they're really going to become less and less effective with regular use, meaning that you're going to find that you need more, or, really you've got other issues to deal with. Again, because now you have messed with the chemical connections, your receptors in your brain. So these options are not recommended for long-term use due to potential side effects and really the diminishing benefits. They also may interact with other medications or worsen health conditions. So if you're taking any medication, you definitely do not want to be mixing these two together. And if you find that the medication, one of the side effects of the medication is insomnia, then you need to consult with your prescribing physician to figure out how to either change or titrate off of the medication so that your body can be restored in a way where it can do all these things it's supposed to do naturally. Just know that these issues can also impact driving and other activities that you need to take care of during the day. And so certainly sleep is an extremely important part of our overall health and well-being maintenance, if you will. But we want to make sure that we are not trading one problem for another. These OTC sleep aids or over-the-counter sleep aids can provide short-term relief if you've just got occasional sleeplessness, although I would say that you don't even want to use them in that particular situation. It's a slippery slope because what you really need to do is figure out why you've got a problem sleeping and eliminate what was the cause and what created the situation. Again, your body is designed to sleep naturally. If it's not happening, there's some sort of toxic buildup that needs to be cleared out of the way. So they're not intended for long-term and chronic insomnia. And if you've got persistent sleep issues, then you definitely need to look to other solutions. And I would recommend to really look for the underlying or root cause of the problem. And then you can design another treatment process that actually addresses the cause of the insomnia. And the really great ancillary benefit there is that it is going to resolve a lot of other health issues that you've been experiencing. So as I mentioned, your body is supposed to do this naturally. Sleeping is a natural thing that our body does. And what happens is the pineal gland triggers melatonin production. And so if your melatonin is not being produced properly, and you're not triggering that sleep response, then there's something getting in the way of that. There are some ways that you can promote the sleep triggering, including, this melatonin production, and even foods that you can eat, for example. So bananas and cherries are known to have properties that will help to trigger this relaxation response that will lead to sleep. If bananas and cherries either aren't your jam or aren't working for you, then a nice warm cup of chamomile or valerian tea. You might even use valerian in capsule form. I have a whole video on valerian, using valerian, and so you might look at that as an option as well. We have often heard about the Thanksgiving hangover from eating turkey, because turkey's really rich in tryptophan. And so you can actually supplement with tryptophan, but I wouldn't recommend that you do that. Rather, eat a nice high protein snack before bed. Turkey is a great option, again, because it's rich in tryptophan, and tryptophan is one of the amino acids that are involved in this whole cascade leading up to melatonin production and ultimately sleep. So you may be thinking that natural sleep remedies aren't reliable and that the stress caused by not sleeping is more of a risk, but there are things you should know. So stick around, because this is just an example of one of the countless ways stress creates symptoms and other health issues, especially during midlife. I created a video that shows you how to eliminate these symptoms naturally, so I'll make sure to link to it below this video, but make sure you hit subscribe too, because I share a lot of tips when it comes to dealing with stress that's become toxic. Relieving the nasty symptoms stress creates makes cruising through midlife a breeze. So let's talk for a minute now about some of the benefits of using sleep medication. So obviously, sleep is critical and not optional. And so if sleep is non-negotiable and sleep's not happening, then there are certain situations, again, short term, certain situations where turning to some sort of medication to strongly encourage your body to sleep at the normal time. Again, normal is, if you haven't heard me talk about this before, normal is 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. Those are the hours, and I would suggest 1 or 2 hours either way. So you typically want to get about a 7-hour period of sleep minimum, and 11 to 5 is when our bodies are hardwired to sleep. And so if you've been forcing your body to try to sleep outside of those hours, then you're just making the problem worse. So again, we want to work to help our bodies reset their circadian rhythms and get back to this natural process. Sleep medication is best for falling asleep and not so great for staying asleep. So keep that in mind, because if you're trying to medicate yourself to stay asleep, then you're going about it the wrong way. You've got a different issue going on and it needs to be addressed differently. And then, as I promised, there are some cautions if you're considering supplementing with sleep medication. And we talked earlier about creating a reliance on the medication as opposed to actually identifying the root cause. A moment ago, I talked to you about the risk that you're trying to medicate a problem that isn't going to benefit from medication. And so if you are waking up in the middle of the night and can't go back to sleep, that is not a problem that sleep medication is going to help with. That is a toxicity issue, a liver gallbladder issue. And so you've got to address that differently and not essentially create more toxicity in your body than trying to resolve the problem. So again, we want to find something that's actually going to resolve the root cause of the problem and restore homeostasis. Homeostasis is when our body is in balance and when everything is working the way it's supposed to as it was designed. Staying asleep is related to toxicity, as I mentioned. And so if you need to address liver toxicity, then you may want to look at my video on milk thistle, because milk thistle is something that can really help with liver toxicity. And then another real not insignificant risk is daytime drowsiness. And if you really need to drive a vehicle or have really big demands during the daytime, then taking sleep medication at night thinking that you're going to just be able to turn it on and off, it just doesn't work like that. Your body is designed to do that naturally, and when you start interfering with that process, then a lot of other things are going to go more or less haywire too. Remember too that if you're taking any other medications, you definitely do not want to be using over-the-counter medications along with prescription medications. You've really got a dangerous cocktail going on there. So if you are taking prescription medications and you're having issues with insomnia, then you need to, I would suggest you do your own research and determine whether insomnia is a known side effect of the medication that you're taking. If so, you want to bring that to your doctor's attention, and then you guys need to come up with a solution that does not involve adding another medication on top of the medication that you're already taking. Also, just know that even taking supplements are less risky, but they're also medicating the problem and you're still not getting to the root cause. And so I never recommend taking supplements long-term, because I want you to get to the root cause. I want you to stop suppressing symptoms and get to the root cause of the problem. And if your best efforts to live a healthy lifestyle and do all the things you've been led to think are supposed to work aren't getting the job done, you may even be feeling like you take 2 steps forward and 3 back. In my next video, I'll show you how to manage the toxic stress that's sabotaging your efforts. You can eliminate the symptoms that seem to be piling up in midlife naturally without medication, crazy diets, intense exercise, or any other unsustainable lifestyle hack.